This is Dinosaur Sport, bringing you that heat and far. We keeping a foot on the what? On the necks. We keeping a foot on the what? On the necks. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts its pipes. Let's talk about it, man. And the prediction king strikes again. And the prediction king strikes again. Dinosaur Sport told you guys, man. You're going to be seeing Dinosaur Sport tooting his horn all day, every day. I mean, when does Dinosaur Sport not toot his own horn? Let me say it again. When does Dinosaur Sport not toot his own horn? And what did Dinosaur Sport say? And the prediction king strikes again. And the prediction king strikes again. Listen, y'all. Dinosaur tactics are for dinosaurs. Errol the True Spence is a megalodon shark. That's a different species, man. If Bob Arum wants to understand a megalodon shark, he has to go into the deepest, bluest, my heart is like a shark's fin. Deepest, bluest, my heart is like a shark's fin. He has to go into the deepest of the bluest of the water. This is why Bob Arum and Al Heyman don't talk the same language. This is why Al Heyman is widely and unarguably the biggest name in boxing, man. He's the most cachet name in boxing. He is the guy that just basically came in after all of these guys and usurped them because he realized their system was flawed. The system was in an old archaic viewpoint, just like the one-trick viewpoint of let it keep it boxing, let it keep it boxing, when they don't even realize that boxing is a three-pronged monster: economics, politics, and pugilism. By the way, it's a Dinosaur Sport original. But what people have to understand in this most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth teller fashion is as simple as this, man. When we sit here and look at Errol the True Spence, he's the A side. So when Bob Arum used dinosaur tactics that are only for dinosaurs and saying, well, Spence is holding up the fight, he's ducking Terence but Crawford, when we know the body language of their body of work says the opposite. It's the things that make you say. It's the things that make you say. See, there's the body language of what fighters profess through their boxing resume in their boxing career, and then there's what Bob Arum does, man. Bob Arum is an old car salesman, aka shiesty motherfucker. So you have to expect dinosaur tactics from a dinosaur, man. The last time we had a dinosaur that was doing the same tactics that Bob Arum was doing was Don King. But they got Don King up out of there. You know why? Because he's black, man. Bob Arum gets to do whatever he wants to do from an old dinosaur tactic, continuously being a dinosaur, because he's white. We got to call a spade here. We got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck, and we got to keep it 100. He gets to have the lifeline, man, because of his white privilege. Don King doesn't get the same affording ability, even though Don King was just as dirty as him. But because his Negro black ass had to be lynched because of the fact that he was robbing boxers, and rightfully so, he should have been lynched for it. You would think they would do it to Bob Arum. No, they would not, because of his white privilege, man. See, but Bob Arum is giving you old dinosaur tactics because he's a dinosaur, man. And he doesn't understand this way of boxing. This is why he can't speak the same language that Al Heyman speaks. Al Heyman is constantly modernizing himself. In business, I'm going to teach you a simple business 101 tactic. You have to constantly be modernizing yourself with the times. You could find this in any business book, man. The lack of modernizing yourself with the time is the lack of you being left behind, though. You know, like that movie Left Behind? You will be left behind, man, because you're not trying to modernize yourself into what boxing is today. Boxing is a sport that's dealing with a bunch of youthful fighters. A lot of them cap, like the little Devin capping ass Haney's of the world. You rarely have a tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work, the levying on style, the punishment style, and Errol the True Spence. So when you have that, you have to make sure that you finesse that situation into your favor, because you understand the cash cow that's in front of you. Like when Errol the True Spence said, I wasn't going to take that $200K signing bonus that Bob Arum was going to give me, because he understood. Errol the True Spence is smart, like his dad, Errol Spence Sr. said. He was able to see in three-dimensional thinking ability fashion that if I go with Bob Arum, I'm going to be crippled. I'm going to be like the Chihuahua walking behind the damn fence because he's going to use old school boxing promoter tactics, basically dinosaur tactics that are only for dinosaurs. Name me a dinosaur that's in boxing today that's left. It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, there's no more dinosaurs. So if there's no more dinosaurs left, then why are we using dinosaur tactics to try to sit here and brain full of mush and brainwash these dodo heads? This speaks volumes of the reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders. It speaks volumes of them and how Hino's Sport famously called them brain full of mush and brainwashed dodo heads. Because dodo heads don't know no better, man. They're like the blind leading the blind into the ditch, though. They're lukewarm. They're neither hot nor cold, man. It's like the church of the Laodiceans, man. When Jesus Christ said it, let the Spirit saith unto the churches, though, you are lukewarm because you are neither hot nor cold. This was in the book of Revelation. Things that are going to manifest. It's talking about the hypocrisy of how churches today, it was using a metaphor, it was using a parable of how churches are so lukewarm. And see, what Jesus said in that parable was, I'd rather you be hot or cold, meaning I'd rather you pick a side than to be a fence straddler. This is the problem with boxing community fan bases. You have too many fence straddlers, though. They're talking too sideways out of their asses. This is why it pays off to be absolute and resolute in everything that you say. Look at Hino's Sport, always on the thumb, always on the wave, always on the needle of the damn situation. You know why? Because Hino's Sport has been ordained, though. Hino's Sport has been gifted as the Nostradamus of boxing, as the Nostradamus of sports, as the Nostradamus of life. When he tells you something, the Hino's Sport seer mode and the foretelling of events will come to pass. And what did Hino's Sport say? And the prediction keeps striking. And the prediction keeps striking at that. Bob Arum is an old car salesman, aka shiesty motherfucker. And that's what you're seeing. So when you sit here and say that Errol Spence is ducking Terence but Crawford, when you just sat here a year ago in hypocrisy and said that Spence and Crawford fight could be made, it has nothing to do with that. What it has everything to do with the fact that he wants the 50-50. And he's mad that a brother is usurping him once again, man. This is what it boils down to. It boils down to the skin color. Al Heyman is black. Bob Arum is white. And in his white privilege, how dare this black man not only sun me up on Mayweather and Pacquiao, how dare he sun me on Spence and Crawford once again? Like, how many times do I have to keep taking 40%? Well, guess what? You got to bend the proverbial effing knee up, and you got to kiss the ring while you at it, because you're going to keep taking 40%, because Al Heyman's only getting bigger and bigger, while Bob Arum is getting lower and lower. One has to increase for the other to decrease. And Al Heyman is constantly increasing. So that means the opposite has to reign true with Bob Arum and him constantly decreasing. What I said was so deep and profound. Let me let that marinate the corpus callosum into the cerebellum. So hear me? Hear me? Freaking wow. You gotta get the message, though. Like a turkey. Gobble that thing up. One has to increase. Al Heyman is constantly increasing. So the other has to decrease. Bob Arum is constantly decreasing. So Bob Arum, Al Heyman got them feeling some type of way. PBC Boxing got Top Rank feeling some type of way. Al Heyman, the shrewdest man in boxing, got Bob Arum feeling some type of way. Then we got to bridge it some type of way. Got him feeling some type of way, though. Because when it's all said and done, PBC was where it was at. And the prediction keeps striking. And the prediction keeps striking. Hino's Sport told you guys this stuff. This is why you have to be on the wave, the thumb, the needle, and the damn situation of this platform. Because every time this platform tells you something, the foretelling of events tells you that it comes to pass. So what's not cold-hearted about that? What's not unadulterated about that? And what's not the cutthroat truth teller fashion about that? You're talking about a dinosaur using dinosaur tactics when he's dealing with a different species, a megalodon shark. A megalodon shark has no predators, though. It is the predator. So Bob Arum, in this instance, you are the predator. You are the prey to Errol the True Spence's predator. Errol the True Spence ain't stunting your ass. That's why he eathed it and murked and checked your ass. When have you ever known a boxer to release financials Financials is taboo, man. That's like sparring. That's not something that's released easily. It's not something that's even released in boxing. But it speaks volumes to the fact that Errol the True Spence is exactly what he is, his own boss. Like Al Heyman tells you guys, that these guys right here are basically people that he's advising. They're their own boss, so they can talk and govern their affairs however they want to. Al Heyman just wants to make sure that you're not fucking shit up when it comes to your finances and your financials. And if you do that, he got no problem with you. But Errol the True Spence, being the airfield fighter that he is, he has the ultimate license that Floyd Mayweather prior to him had, which is to say whatever's on his mind, man. Because he brings so much to the PBC lion's share, man. So when Errol the True Spence is telling you the truth about Bob Arum, he's authorized, he's certified, he's calculated, and he's verified to tell you that truth. Because Errol the True Spence ain't telling you something that isn't already not happening, man. Bob Arum is a dinosaur, man, using dinosaur tactics. These tactics don't work on a megalodon shark when you're a different species. Because a different species does not talk the same language that a dinosaur talks. That's why they call it dinosaur tactics. Do dinosaurs still exist? No. But do sharks still exist? Yes. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion. So Bob Arum, stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense with that old car salesman, aka shiesty motherfucker talk, and go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. When it's all said and done, you can't scare boxing community fan bases to try to put pressure on Errol the True Spence. They tried it and it failed miserably. Errol the True Spence moves by his own thumb and his own needle because he's a true alpha extraordinaire governed by true alpha economics. So you know what you're going to have to do, Bob Arum. When it's all said and done, take your damn 40%. Because if you don't take your 40%, Spence versus Crawford is not going to happen. And Errol the True Spence ain't losing sleep whether if the boxing community fan bases criticize him or not. Because he knows that 98% of the people on this planet of these types of Rudy Poo and Plum Plum brains, these types of classic Dolce troglodytes, these types of ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric are pure beta supremes. And his true alpha extraordinaire, governed by true alpha economic ways, which is only 2%, does not give two flying cows you know what about it. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion. I keep the foot on the whoop on the X. I keep the foot on the whoop on the X. When it's all said and done, you guys have to ask yourself these underlying questions and these underlying truths. And you know what that is? Bob Arum, just like Top Rank and just like Errol the True Spence revealed so many years ago, that Bob Arum is a smoke and mirrors promoter, dog. And he promotes smoke and mirrors boxers. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion. This is Hino's Sport. Check it out.